You did mention that Shmoop is applying now for a patent for the first time for some new technology. So I'm wondering if you can tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is super exciting, and we've actually met with our first few customers and shared some of our first insights. We call the new technology Shmoop Heartbeat, and so the concept of why we call it Heartbeat is because we were trying to gather a pulse of the student around social and emotional learning related to cognitive skills and other skills that the student would have. So when you think about it holistically, the way that we think about Shmoop Heartbeat is we want to be able to provide some understanding of one, how the student learns, what their readiness is in learning. You think about someone waking up in the morning and their readiness to learn. Did they have breakfast that morning? Are they tired all the time? Are they really bad at taking time tests? There's a variety of things that we're going to be looking for. So what we've done is we've partnered with a company by the name of Digital Promise. Digital Promise has done years of research. Zuckerberg Chan, Bill Melinda Gates funded organization. They've done years of research around what is needed, and how certain nodes of understanding connect to other nodes of learning or specific cognitive skill sets. And so when you start connecting all of that information, you start realizing, hey, if a person's really bad at calculus, maybe they're also really bad at this other thing. Or if they're really bad at taking time tests, they're probably not going to pass any of their calculus tests, right? So there's this connection of how people learn, and then two, what their current understanding is. And when you mix this together, when you mix this understanding of a student or what their quote heartbeat is, one, the teacher wouldn't be able to ask every student in the classroom in a public school setting all of the needed questions to understand the current position or current heartbeat of that student. So we want to, as a company, as a tool, we want to be able to provide access into the student's mind for the teachers that are working with them. And that position of a student and that feeling, the emotional intelligence of the student changes consistently. This is an ever-changing thing. It's not I change every single year as I progress forward, every single week. I'm sure people's emotions have changed from February 1st through March 15th, right? So people were probably in a really good emotional place on February 1st. Our country is in really a challenging environment from a financial perspective. The stress levels are so high. And most teachers want to understand, are my students ready to learn? And if they're not, how can I help them progress? So one way of approaching this is, even here locally at some of the schools that my kids go to, they were asked some questions like, hey, if you're having some challenges, feel free to reach out to your teacher or to your school counselor and to get some one-on-one help and coaching. We don't want to do that just at a one-on-one. We don't want to just do that. Like, you can't scale that across the whole school. It becomes impossible to address every single student. We want to be able to do that at scale across all students by asking those students a few fun questions and getting their emotional response. We don't want to interrogate the student either. So this is where our partnership with Digital Promise comes in, and asking ancillary questions that help us understand what the view of the student is and how ready they are to learn and what their previous knowledge base is to actually gain progress. Because if they don't have the foundational aspects of what they need to do, then they're not going to get that progress. And then we want to be able to prescribe a direction moving forward. And so from a highest level perspective, that's what we're creating at Shmoop.